Hi, I'm Jack, and welcome back because I'm going to give you guys a review for the new movie starring Andrew Garfield, and it's the directorial debut of Lin-Manuel Miranda, Tick, Tick, Boom. And before we get started, don't forget to follow me on social media. My username is down below at the bottom of the screen and in the description below, so don't forget to do that while you're at it. And with that out of the way, don't forget, spoiler-free review. I won't say spoilers about this movie. And with that said, let's get started. The film follows Jonathan Larson, played by Andrew Garfield, as he tries to navigate his life in New York City while trying to create a musical that will hopefully be his breakthrough in the musical industry in Broadway in New York City, all while he's trying to navigate his love, his friendships, and trying to deal with life as an artist in the big city. I really liked this movie. It was great. And I really liked Andrew Garfield as the lead character, as Jonathan Larson. He was fantastic. I really liked his singing. He was really great there, and he was mesmerizing. And I loved his scenes with Robin DeJesus, who played his best friend Michael, and even with Alexandra Shipp, who plays his girlfriend, and you would know her from X-Men Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix as Storm. And just the acting all around was great. Andrew Garfield was the standout. He was fantastic, and I just loved the energy he brings to the screen. I loved seeing him in this movie. He was just mesmerizing. His singing was great, all of that. He was just all around fantastic, and I'm so happy he got to do a movie like this, and he deserves a lot of recognition for what he did here, as does the rest of the cast. Another thing I loved is the songs. I wasn't too familiar with Tick, Tick, Boom before I heard about this movie. Like, I know of Rent, but I never heard of this. So when I listened to the songs as this movie plays, I really enjoyed what I heard. I thought the actors were singing them fantastically. I loved how they were able to, shoot this and how they were able to tell this. It was really great. And I think what makes it cool is how to tell this story, they had it he's telling the story and then you see what happens and all that. So that was cool. I love the musical numbers. They were really great. And even the lighting and production design for the sets and all this is really well done.
Rock musical.
The story of this movie was very well told because it follows Jonathan Larson before he becomes 30, shortly before then, and they were able to tell the stuff they needed to within that time frame of a few days. And I was really hooked on the story. I was really excited to just see what was going to happen in these characters, and I connected with the characters as well because the movie does a really great job at developing them, who they are, and why should we care. And as the movie goes on, it gives you the message of how if you want to make your dreams come true, you should go for it. And how you see Jonathan Larson struggling to make his dream come true because he tries to write this musical. He wants to get this workshop to happen, but he also wants to be there for his friends and stuff. And it was so hard. You see how he was trying to fulfill his dream and still be friends with his friends and all that. And it does a really good job at making me connect with the characters, and the story was just well told, especially for an hour and 55 minutes. And it was also a sad movie as well, because especially as you head towards the middle to last half of the movie, a lot of really emotional stuff happens. And those of you who know Jonathan's life story, even with Rent and with Tick, Tick, Boom, and even how he got to where he ended up becoming with his musicals, it's really sad. And I think those of you who really are into the musical genre are probably going to be really emotional with this movie. And especially with how it's time, you don't have as much time in the world. You want to use it just right. You want to be able to do all you want to do, and you should go and fulfill your dream. And that's what this movie's about. You see Jonathan trying to go out there, make his musical, and hopefully make a career out of it. And you see him struggling to make this happen. And it was just so well done. And I couldn't just not commend them anymore for how well that was depicted. And just seeing how it's a hard life. Trying to get into Broadway or even in the musical industry is not easy at all. And just I loved how they were able to depict Andrew as Jonathan trying to make his way into this industry, just knowing how hard it is for him to, and especially with everything that's happening around him and why he wants to get there and hopefully do something big. And this movie does that and succeeds. The sets are good as well, especially for like his apartment and the diner that he works at there, and even on these sets where like the musical stuff happens. They were well done, and they have some good lighting, and they just do a really good job at depicting all of these moments. And I thought, just, yeah, in general, the production design looks good. I liked how they were able to make it look like this is just New York City for people who try to get into Broadway and stuff. And it does a good job at just having these sets built. And they look good as well. And it really reminds me of New York City. However, that brings me to my two issues I have with this movie. The first one is I thought the pacing is, for the most part, it's solid. But in the middle of the movie, there are times where it just slows down just a little bit. And I think they could have just moved it at a little bit of a faster pace there. So it's not too major, but I felt like at times it was paced well for the most part. But then there were times where I thought it slows down around this point in time. And then the second issue I have is, while this is Lin-Manuel Miranda's directorial debut, it was a solid movie for him to kick off with. And he does show that he did his research for Jonathan Larson. But from a directing standpoint, a lot of it didn't scream Lin-Manuel Miranda for me. And I know this is his directorial debut, so maybe it's just because it's his first actual official movie he's directed. But at times it didn't feel like this is a movie that he directed. It felt like someone else could have made this. But I really like, but again, I like Lin-Manuel Miranda. I really like what he did with Hamilton, and especially for creating In the Heights. And so I really like him. And this was a solid directorial debut movie for him. But a lot of what the direction did not feel like this was specifically from him. And I think he could have inserted a little bit more of his style to make this movie pop like this is something he made. All in all, Tick, Tick, Boom is a great musical. It has very great performances, especially a powerhouse lead from Andrew Garfield. And it's a terrific musical with some great messages and some great musical moments that I heavily think is worth watching on Netflix. I'm going to give Tick, Tick, Boom an A-. And if you are a fan of the genre, I definitely think you should stream this on Netflix if you're a musical lover. If you are into musicals, or you love Andrew Garfield or Lin-Manuel Miranda, or you're just into Jonathan Larson, or even if you're a fan of Rent, which I would love to know down below if you are, then this movie is definitely worth watching. I do think it's worth your time. It's great. Very well made movie, and I do think it's worth watching, and it's a great musical as well. So definitely check it out if you haven't. With that said, those are my thoughts on Tick, Tick, Boom. I would love to hear what you guys thought about the movie down below in the comment section, so don't forget to do that. Don't forget to tell me what did you think about this movie, whether you liked it. I would love to hear that. And thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button, and stay tuned for more.
Keep going, okay?